today we visit one of Taiwan's top table tennis schools, Songshan High School of Commerce and Home Economics. It has one of the strongest table tennis teams in the country, and throughout the past couple of decades, it has produced between 30 to 60% of Taiwan's junior national players every year. Some of the top players in the world that has benefited from its programs includes the likes of Lin Yun-Ju, Kao Cheng-Jui, Feng Yi-Hsin, the recent Singapore Smash Youth Champion and world number 219 in the world, Chang Yu-An, and many more strong players. We are witnessing a multi-ball session fed by national coach Chiang, and let's enjoy. You will notice the coach is doing both kind of feeds, basically a double bounce feed and a single bounce feed. The difference with the double bounce feed, which is not that commonly seen, is that the ball is much lower and slower, so it requires the player to make adjustments. Now the coach is going back to the normal feed and then mixing up with some double bounce feed. The double bounce feed is extremely straining on the footwork, because you need to get into position, you need to get lower, and there's not much power to utilize to help get the ball back. Where a single ball feed, all you need to do is touch the ball and the ball will go back. So you can see the player is extremely exhausted. So the coach will normally feed to two players, while the second player picks up the balls and folds up the basket for his receive. You'll notice now the player wearing pink, he is filling up the container to its maximum capacity. Most times you'll notice players are maybe reducing the ball so they can have a less workout. But if you're in a professional environment, you want to be better than your peers. So every extra 5 balls in there counts. So the coach is starting off with some double bounces, and you can see the player is waiting for the ball, getting in position, stepping. Now this is basically complete table forehand. The ball could come anywhere. There is no sequence. Now if it's single ball bounce, there's a lot more power you can utilize in the incoming ball to get the ball back to double ball bounces, and you can see the tempo slows down and the lower the position the player needs to get in. So now we're in the pivoting corner and then crossover forehand. This is quite a common technique we train in our youth. Another crossover. And very important of the crossover is to have another forehand, because most of the time when you do a crossover, you may be too slow to get back. Now when you're younger, the ball might not come back in the match, but as you get older, the stronger the opponent gets, the ball will always come back. So in training, we need to train not just 10 or 20, we need to train 30 or 40 of them on the trot. We train so much on the trot for the sole purpose of the 3 or 5 that counts during the match, or maybe 10 or 15 that counts during the match. So the coach will normally do a specific number or based on the player's condition. In this case, you can see the pink player is quite exhausted, so the coach is giving a bit more extra time for him to breathe and recover. So there's no purpose to push the player to the ultimate, but you would need to test the player to maybe try to push another 5 or 10% of what they can handle. But it's very dangerous to over push it, because these players train 2 to 3 sessions a day. That is easily 2 to 3 hours per sessions, and that's just on the table. They also do train in the gym, they also do train running and also other physical drills. So we're back to the same program of forehand everywhere. If you actually notice now, compared to when the player first started, he's actually going a lot more slower. And of course, the coach is alternating the tempo, some fast ones and some slow ones. The So one of the most difficult things is for a coach to know the player and to make sure the feed is a proper workout. Not too easy and not too difficult. If it's too difficult, it's actually counterproductive. So in this case, the coach knows the players very well and know exactly what they can do to push the play in the limit. You can see the lost fit there was pretty high. The reason was he did a high one into the body at a very close range from his previous forehand ball. This was to get him to push himself left or into a pivot position to use forehand. Most of the time, when we see the balls coming into the body, we automatically use our backhand. And in that specific instance, the coach didn't give a fast one into his body because he would not be in time. So he gave a slower one with a higher arc and into the body, so he could pivot to his forehand. So when you have a chance, you can try out these double ball bounce feeds. It's actually very, very tiring. There is no power to utilize whatsoever. You need to generate the power in the contact points to get brought back with some quality. So the footwork we see here are mostly shuffle and then crossover. Okay, container finish. The player in black comes and folds up. Again, the culture of discipline is very important for elite athletes, and you can see the player is actually checking if there's any more spots he can place the balls, and yeah, he spots some more for 2 or 3 more balls. I normally find that a lot of players that do not want to push to elite, they will reduce some balls in that container. But if you see players that put in more balls in, you all know they are serious. Okay, so we're going to have a change of draw, underspin, and forehand everywhere. So the previous draw was topspin, forehand everywhere. This is now underspin feed to forehand everywhere. The difference with this is now you're closer towards the table, and on the bounce, you basically can either go over the table or you can wait for the ball to go about the highest point. Seldom you wait for the ball to come down. It all depends on where the bounce goes. It could be a medium long or it could be a long feed. Most of these are medium to medium long feeds. Basically, any medium to medium long feed is considered top spinnable because the ball will be the net height and you are able to go with the top spin shot. You don't need to get into the table to get the ball as like a short ball, because the ball would bounce to the baseline, and this fade is actually a stronger push, so the chances of a second bounce is slim, but some of these are not too far off. The table height is so relatively low. You'll see the height is mostly net height or lower than the net height. So that's actually a sweet spot for a top spin shot. And this is training a player to be in a match where if the ball is coming at that net height or just below net height, it's all attackable. Now, if you don't attack, your opponent will attack. So the initiative is to start the attack and to be in control from the get-go, no matter if you're serving or receiving. Now, if you do topspin, if you do these underspin feeds to your peers, and if the ball is too high, it actually defeats the objects, because higher balls will be more like a smash or be more of a drive. When the ball is very, very low and very spinny like what the coach is doing here, then you really need to add a lot of spin. Otherwise, the ball will touch the net, either go into the net or clip the net. When it clips the net, it means there's not enough spin in the shots. Now, very important, you can see he's a left-hander, so look at the weight transfer on his left foot. He's stepping, even on the same spot, he's stepping onto his left foot to lift the ball up from the toes, from the feet, from the heel, into the knees, into the thighs, and then using the waist rotation in its hip to bring the ball over. So in this angle, we mostly seeing is his hand contact, but there's actually a lot of effort put down on his base. He's actually getting a bit tired. His movement is not that smooth anymore because it's actually a very hard workout on the lower part of your body. Now you can see he's exhausted. A quick few second breather to reset, and the coach is saying come in and we do some flicks, forehand flicks. Now it could be short, then it's forehand flick. If it goes medium or medium long, then you can toss it. Now different thing between the two is one you need to step in, and the other one you need to step on the spot and to find your position. Either one you need to step to find your position. Flick is you stepping in. Now he's a left-handed, so his left feet is stepping in for the flick. It's very important to notice that the bounce of the ball is all around up to net height. So these are actually very, very difficult to continuously attack. A lot of effort is required to get into position and to be stepping with the correct weight and control of the entire body to your fingertips. That's a good movement. He struggled to get there. So the coach is purposely giving him a wide one and for him to step almost like a crossover topspin, but it's a flick. Okay, so you can see he is doing crossover. Now this is normally the case in the doubles. So this is a double specialist. I know this player, so he's a double specialist. So the coach is doing some drills that to help him in his doubles match. In doubles, you'll notice that if you have a right and left-handed pairing, the drills most of the time we will do is forehand for both players because there's no real reason to use backhand other than service return. And from there, you'll want to be both using forehand because you'll both have the full table. The left-hander will be standing on the one corner, the right-hander on the other corner, and you have the whole table to swing your forehand shot. So that coach gave that very short and far side forehand flick. Basically after that shot, then the right-hander comes in, then the left-handed player needs to step back into the center of the table for the third ball or the fifth ball in that regards. Okay, change and pink player is back. So while the black player was hitting, pink was picking up balls and resting. So there's a bit of a recovery. Okay, so pink is actually not contacting the ball enough and it's going to the net or clipping the net as you can see. So acceleration was not enough. This acceleration, if fast enough, would grab the ball more into the sponge. Now if it's not enough, then it's literally just surface, top sheet surface, and then can't really grab much. Now you can hear a crisp sound in the hits. If he grabs it enough into the sponge, he's using a Chinese hurricane rubber. If you hear the bang, very crisp sound. It's very important to notice that his footwork before he hits the ball, he contacts, and when he finishes with a follow through. You can see there is entire weight transfer from the right of his body to left of his body. He first shuffles and then steps into position. So it's actually 2 footwork movements, but together it looks like 1. So the player is recovering into the ready position and pivoting to the topspin. So this would normally be the case if you serve short and the player pushes long into your backhand, and then you can step around, pivot, and start an attack of your forehand topspin with the incoming underspin ball. So this is quite a common exercise to do. Very realistic match scenario. So he did a couple of dozens over there, quite exhausted, giving him a breather, walking off a bit. You see Pink is struggling, he's tired, and we're only into basically 17 minutes of the video. There's still an hour to go. Double bounce. Double bounce, or the chance of a double bounce, you have to be over the table and not wait for it to come to the baseline. Basically, as long as the ball is higher than the table height and below the net height, you are able to drag the ball over. Now, coach is doing a big variety. Some of them are low feet, some a bit higher. The higher one will have an arc, and you need to wait for the ball. The lower one's not much of an arc, and you need to be there earlier to execute the shots. See, that was the wrong timing, and he completely mishit the ball. Again, 2 wrong timings on 3 balls. So people ask me, how do these players get so strong? How do they get so good? It is really just the same thing that everybody does, and the only difference is if you do it 1,000 times or if you do it 10,000 times. Now these are all set drills they do every single day, and the different thing is each player, if the player puts 70% effort, 80, 90 or 100% effort, or if you even put 110, at the end of the day that separates you from your peers. Alright, so there's still 30-40 minutes left, but I'm going to end the video now, and please let me know if you like these kind of videos, and yeah, I'll make sure to record more and show you all. Thank you.